put music on in the background right now.
Oh my gosh, we're
just
already
to chill,
alive.
just to chill. Just hurry up. Hurry up.
Bro.
Feeding the ducks. Feeding the ducks. Feeding the ducks. Feeding the
Why are you
ducks.
doing this after I hit live?
All right.
Let's look at Instagram.
Now you're good.
All right. What's going on? Episode 70. Holy shit.
We made it, boys. The big 7-0. One of the big milestones to hit NBA points-wise. 70. And what better way to kick off our show than actually, no, let's go. What are we talking about today? What are we got on tap then? I feel like we got a pretty semi-loaded show. Obviously, the NHL is going to be a big part of it because we were all so into that after a crazy NHL season.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm not a big hockey guy, but for Game 7 coming down 3-0, it's hard not to get excited about a game like that. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about McDavid winning the MVP. Also, kind of get everyone's thoughts on that. Some MLB talk. Ryan, you went to a Pirates game on Sunday, saw Mr. Skeens. So
yeah,
touch base on that.
Yeah.
And then Chase's guy, AFR's guy, Christopher Bell, coming in on top, and we'll take a look at kind of where he's at in the point standings and kind of get Chase's insight on the season. So let's get into NHL Stanley Cup.
Yeah. First of all, I know, Chase, you followed a good part, but hands down, I think overall very successful NHL season, the longest NHL season I think in the history in regards to calendar days. So just an overall, gut-wrenching long 8 months that these players went through, especially on the Oilers and the Panthers, and came down to Game 7, which we haven't had a Game 7 in the NHL Stanley Cup in a couple years now, and it delivered.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like this entire series was not – I mean, remember when we were talking about the parallels to the NBA Finals and how Florida was just going to slam dunk it all the way through, and luckily Edmonton was able to come back out, really battle it out, but it was unfortunate. I was really pulling for Edmonton last night. I feel like you guys were on that train too.
Yeah. Not for any real reason.
Yeah, like I just felt like I was definitely a fan of Florida last year in the playoffs, and then this year I felt like it was exciting to see the Oilers really actually put it together, and it sucked in the end how McDavid really was a non-factor Game 6 and Game 7, and same with Draisaitl the entire final round. He was just non-existent, so I don't know injury-wise or what, but it was kind of sucked, and it was crazy that Edmonton was able to do it without those two guys really being the flame for them both.
Yeah. And credit to the Florida defense. I mean, they were getting
ridiculous
peppered. They were just getting peppered, and Bobrovsky just was holding his own back there and definitely made up for some of his Game 5 performance. And but wow, they withstood a lot of shots, some really good opportunities. I mean, that, like you said, that McDavid basically one-on-one almost. Just some really good opportunities that they were not able to capitalize, and it was 2-1 after midway through the second.
Yeah, the game started off hot. 10 minutes in is 1-1, but midway through the second, it was 2-1, and
that was it.
Yeah,
it's all it took.
I feel like, I don't know, just watching the game, I feel like was like the epitome of the series for the Florida Panthers, and I feel like they're not rootable because it's almost like watching, like an analogy I thought of last night was watching Floyd Mayweather box, where he does enough to get the lead, which is what the Florida Panthers do, and then they straight up just park the bus.
Yeah.
I mean, they got that 2-1 lead. You saw the shot difference in the third. I mean, I know McDavid and Draisaitl basically played the entire third period, and they were gassed by the end. But even still, with them not going through really any line changes, they were on the offensive push the entire third period. I'm watching the game thinking if they play like this the entire game, they would have probably won. But then I was starting to realize I feel like Florida got the lead, and now they're just sitting back and doing what they do best and let the puck go to the wall and have three guys go over there and just smash it against the wall with their skate and waste 2 minutes of time and make me get pissed watching it at home. But
I mean, there was a stretch in, I don't know, it was the third, I think. They went 8 minutes without even a shot on goal.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they were doing their thing. They were like the 2013 Grizzlies, or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played very clean, which was a big factor. I know that Edmond destroyed throughout the playoffs of being like probably the best penalty killing team in the playoffs, with even being able to score shorthanded goals, which is just weird because that doesn't even make sense. But I would wonder if it was the other way around, if Florida would have had like 3 different penalty kills they had to do last night, if Edmonton would have had 3 different power plays. I think Florida ended up with at least 3. I don't know if Edmonton had any.
I can't think of any off the top.
I don't think they had any, and
we're gonna have to do the hockey immaculate grid today now.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
Yeah.
But
not gonna do anything still.
No, biggest factors for me is Florida literally showed they are the best defensive team, and it proved them to win the championship with the best goalie. But also Chase Draisaitl completely. I saw like the point they showed the point differentials and how he dominated in the first 2 series. He did okay in the conference finals, enough to help his team, and just 3 assists in 7 games, no goals in the entire Stanley Cup finals for Draisaitl. Like, what a disappointment for your second best player in your team. Like, that's the guy that needs to show up and deliver. McDavid can't do it all. Obviously, you said Game 6 was basically the role players that carried him through that, setting themselves up for McDavid and Draisaitl to win it for him in Game 7. But I don't want to put it all on McDavid because Draisaitl was there too, and he completely did nothing. It just seemed like he was flat. I don't know if he had an injury, he didn't say, if he was just tired from the long season, but he just seems so flat to me.
Yeah. It honestly felt like watching a Sixers game where it was all of a sudden like flipped inside out and Embiid's taking a bunch of threes and like nothing's really working. It felt like that was the way Edmonton's offense was going last night. They just couldn't get themselves in good positions. And then even in the third, when they just were relentless going at the net, I mean, that one puck should have just went in. I mean, there was way too many people there.
Was that when they all dove on it and they had to stop
the scramble
play?
there? I was like, 9 times out of 10, that puck is in the back of the net just because of the virtue. It's chaos right there. And Edmonton has all the guys who can do that. I mean, Zach Hyman scored some pretty ridiculous goals leading into this game, and he didn't really do anything for them either. So that's their 3-headed monster, and they're really a blitzkrieg. And they can do it shorthanded. They can do it any way possible. But I think it seemed like it was a little bit too much for them. Go like that emotional dump of battling back actually, and then being there, and then Florida realizing that all they have to do is just be physical. I felt like that's all they were leaning on last night was the fact, like you said, Ryan, they got the 2 goals. And even when they got the first goal, I feel like they were just going to try to lay on that as much as they could.
Yeah.
And just they were out hitting Edmonton. And I feel like that's what Florida did the first 3 games. And then I think they tired themselves out doing that. But they had enough juice last night. And they got to this position last year and got whooped. So I feel like it's for Edmonton now. I don't think that they're going away by any means. I feel like McDavid's way too good of a player for them to, retool a little bit this offseason, but they should be right back there. I mean, they have way too many options. If they can do something about the goaltending, it'll help on the defense. But, I mean, they're in a really good position, better than most. So,
yeah, for sure. Florida by far was the more physical team. I don't have the stats in front of me. I'm not going to say they had more hits than Edmonton, but they just they were 50-50 pucks. They were always the first ones there. And if not, they were making Edmonton feel it for being the first ones there. And it always just felt like, too, it was like, I don't know. There was like so many opportunities where you're like, oh, this is going to be the equalizer goal in the third. I don't know if you guys remember. I think it was about 10 minutes to go in the third period. Bobrovsky lost his stick.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't even I'm like, just shoot it. He didn't even have a stick. And of course, they straight up cleared it right away, and then he was able to go grab it. And I was like, just so many opportunities like that happened. I think one of their defensemen lost a stick at one point, and they just
there was one time with I think it was a lefty guy had a righty stick, and they were like,
oh yeah,
and he had that for a while, and they weren't capitalized or something.
Yeah, there was definitely a stretch where I just kept seeing sticks on the ice. I was like, what the hell is going on right now? feel like everyone was just dropping their stick or breaking it that like whole scene, and it felt like 10 minutes.
Yeah, the puck just kept going where the stick was.
Yeah, and the ref was in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is literally just a log jam.
Yeah, but so kind of building off that, what do you guys think? I'll Chase, maybe you want to touch on that first. Did McDavid deserve the MVP? How do I'm not going to comment too much because I don't know enough about hockey and how that all works, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know how many times it was given to a player in the losing team in the NHL, and it's supposed to reflect the entire playoffs. And I feel like McDavid did break a lot of records this postseason. It's not like he wasn't deserving, but I feel like it should go just maybe somebody on a winning team more than the losing team. And McDavid didn't even care. Gary Bettman was doing his like weird, awkward announcement of it, and then just awkwardly standing there because, of course, McDavid's not going to come out and take a consolation prize. Like, that's a ridiculous notion to think of, too.
Did the fans boo?
He didn't
I turned the game off at that point. I can't imagine.
I mean, he didn't want that.
Nah.
Yeah, they were literally just booing, and I was like, I can't disagree. It's like, okay, if the Oilers win, it goes to McDavid. If Florida wins, it goes to Bobrovsky. Pretty set in stone, and there goes the NHL just laying a massive brick out there, like.
Yeah. I will say I didn't know that it counted for the whole playoffs for the NHL, whereas other sports it's just that series.
Yeah.
There definitely is a bigger factor, but if anything, I would feel like that would help Bobrovsky because he dominated throughout the playoffs, and then his worst moments were in the finals, but then he came through in Game 7. So I think it should have went to Bobrovsky. I love Connor McDavid, especially after watching this run he's on. He's like going to be one of my favorite players in the league now. But I don't know. Yeah. So are we all pretty set that we thought Bobrovsky deserved that?
Yeah, I think so. And especially because of the way Florida plays, like we just talked about. I mean, they're willing to just get enough goals and then just play hardcore defense. And you have to have a legit goaltender to even attempt to do that in the NHL. So. And they went past, I mean, look at their playoff run, too. They dismantled a lot of really good teams. They took out Boston and New York like it was no problem.
And New York was like, New York was dismantling everyone on their way to Florida.
Yeah, like Florida was just stonewalling people. And, can't say that wasn't the reason why they ended up gunning as far as they did. It was just stout defense and really, really good goaltending.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to answer your question, Chase, Connor McDavid is the 6th NHL player from this article I'm reading here. He's the 6th NHL player ever to win the award on the losing team. Only the 2nd ever non-goalie. And it hasn't happened since 2003, though.
It was 2003.
So 2003 was the Ducks goalie, Gene Sebastian. But two Flyers are in there, so that, I mean, you love it, but you also hate it, Chase. Ron Hextall in 87.
Yeah.
So one of the Flyers' greatest goalies, players ever. And then Reggie Leach in 1976. I don't know if you know that name or not.
Geez,
from the Broad Street Bullies. So McDavid is the 6th player. It's not like it doesn't happen, right? But it just, I feel like in modern day sports, that's like, especially with, like, I immediately went on Twitter and you're just seeing like NHL fans across the board are pissed. And it's just like, I don't know, it's modern day sports. It's not something that you see and you don't expect anymore.
Yeah. And it's not just like a chalk award either. It's not like the Super Bowl MVP 9 times out of 10 literally just goes to the quarterback. And like they could have had a subpar performance, but because they won the game, it feels like they automatically just give it to the quarterback.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see like the weird instances like that Seattle team, I think was the last time like someone, especially on the defensive side, won it, let alone. But I don't know. Yeah, modern day sports. I know hockey, like you don't always, goalie's a big part of a hockey team. So it's common for them. Other sports, it's usually, your point guard, your quarterback, the guy who has the ball in his hands. But weird stat for sure. Also, just real quick, because I did do a little bit of deep dive. I don't know if you guys, so it happened now 6 times in hockey. In the other 3 sports, do you have like any idea who could have won it, how many times it happened in the other three major sports. So NBA, MLB, NFL.
NFL, I feel like it's happened like once or twice.
Yep.
I think that I want to say it's been a couple times in MLB, maybe like 3.
Okay, so we'll start with the easy one, which is the NBA. It only happened one time. It was actually the first time ever they did the Finals MVP, and it went to Jerry West back in 71. I think that was the first year they actually were doing it. And they lost in 7 to the Celtics, but in game 7, he went 42 points, 13 rebounds, and 12 assists, and they lost by 2. And he just dominated the series. And since then, the NBA has never had another one. Chase, NFL, you're spot on. It happened one time. It was actually a Cowboys linebacker, Chuck Howley, back in the Super Bowl V. It was the 60s? The 60s, I think.
Okay.
And so they lost 16-13. He had 2 picks and a fumble recovery. So big game for him. Only time it's happened in the NFL. And obviously now today it's majority quarterbacks. And in baseball, Ben is off. It's only ever happened one time. It was a Yankees World Series MVP, Bobby Richardson, which I've never even heard of this guy until now. But he batted .367 with 12 RBIs and they lost in 7 games to the Pirates. So it doesn't happen often. And this
Barry Bonds should have won the World Series MVP when they played the Angels.
There are
just FYI.
Yes. I think in modern day sports, there's situations where they should have, or there's an argument. And this would have been Connor McDavid maybe should have won it, but they didn't. Barry Bonds maybe should have won
2002 when they lost, I think it was 7 games against the Angels. Was it 7? Anyway, he had 471 with 4 homers in 7 games in that World Series.
How did they lose? How do you hit 471 and lose?
I don't know.
Well, it's crazy too for McDavid because it's not like he doesn't already have awards. Like he's already been a 3-time MVP. So just kind of like he's kind of done with these regular season awards, and he wants the one that really only matters more than anything else. Like,
you know what's funny too? I feel like today's world, like people when they win MVPs. People are like, oh, yeah, that doesn't matter. It's a finals MVP is what actually matters. And, like, here's a situation where, no, it doesn't. So,
yeah. I know. I don't really care about that stuff. And it's nice sometimes. I think it helps somebody pad their resume. I'm not going to turn back Lamar's 2 MVPs, but, God, I would rather have the Joe Flacco stat line of no MVPs, 1 Super Bowl MVP, and 1 Super Bowl ring. Like, that's immortal. You know, I mean, unless you're Patrick Mahomes, you're just going to win MVP literally every other year, or Jokic, and then sprinkle in a ring or 2.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, yes, you see it, but it's like Florida's a great. I'm watching the team. I'm like, I never heard of this guy. Never heard of this guy. Never heard of this guy. But like, they're such a great team. And like Boston, the Celtics were a good example too. Like, yeah, Tatum is like a huge face of the NBA, but he's not like top 5 superstar legend, you know, automatic first ballot. Like they had a really good team. And I mean, you have guys like McDavid on the other side and
team game.
Yeah. I mean, Luka and McDavid were 2 of the top players in their respective leagues this year, but it's just like, you just got to build a solid team. You don't need the guy just winning the MVPs every year. Like I'm glad Embiid got 1, but now I feel like he's just in like Allen Iverson's position. I don't want to be 20 years from now saying like, oh, I wish he would have gotten 1 like I am with Allen Iverson right now. It's like,
it's like, I'm not going to be hyping up his one-time MVP when he probably should have won it like at least 2 other times, but whatever. Yeah, it's crazy. I was thinking about it too last night. It's almost like a lot of sports are a game of inches, and I feel like hockey's like a game of half inches because there were so many times last night where they could have scored. Like their defenseman hit off the post And I feel like throughout the actual playoffs, he was just money from that angle. Like he was sinking everything. So they missed that one. They missed that scuffle, and Bobrovsky lost his stick. And I don't know, it's crazy. They could have been up 3-2, no problem, in that game, and just didn't work out. The puck literally just wasn't in the right spot.
Yeah. So shout out to the Florida Panthers, though. I mean, best defensive team the last 2 years. First ever Stanley Cup trophy for them. They're in Florida. There's no ice down there. So, I mean, I just don't like hockey teams from the South.
Between them and Tampa, it's annoying how much the finals have run through Florida the last years.
And Vegas.
Yeah,
like it's just like, I don't know. Like that's why I think it's cool too. Also, like the entire like Canadian nation was behind Edmonton because they haven't won in 3 decades. Like no one up there. And I know they don't have nearly as many teams, right? But I don't know. That's like a Canada sport, and it's just weird. I will give it to the Florida Panthers though. I mean, you see a lot of fan bases down in Florida not caring about their sports teams, but hockey shows across the board. There's not many of them that the fans are dedicated, and they showed up. I mean, there were some Edmonton fans there trying to be loud, singing "Oh Canada" as loud as they could, and then Florida Panthers fans come back with the Star Spangled Banner. It was definitely an atmosphere, and it was a great game, even with it ending 2-1. So
and even just a great series. And I think it's delivered more than – because let's go back in the last year. We had the World Series with Texas and Arizona. No one gave a dump about that game. I think I spent 10 minutes in the entire series watching that. What a dumpster fire. The Super Bowl, everyone's going to watch it because it is what it is. It was a great matchup, but could have been better. And then the NBA Finals, again, dumpster fire. No one cared about the Celtics. We all knew pretty much the ending. I mean, I had outside hope that the Mavs would do it, but – we all saw it coming, and I feel like this series, going in before Game 1, it was really a coin toss. I feel like a lot of people couldn't decide on a winner, and it was really split. And I feel like it really held up as a great playoff series, even just to go 7.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was dramatic and just great moments.
Yeah.
So, I hope you guys saw a lot of it, too. It's great.
Yeah, it was really fun.
The most hockey I've watched in a hot.
Yeah, and before we move on, right after that, Chase, I don't know if you want to talk about the news, but right after that, we found that the Flyers' latest draft pick, who we thought might be stuck in the KHL for a couple more years, and I don't want to butcher his name, but he's going to be coming over, I think, next season, right?
Yeah, literally next week, I think he's coming over, but Matvei Michkov, and I need to take a step back because a year ago I dumped on the Flyers when they hired Keith Jones and Danny Briere. I just felt like it's classic Flyers move, hire former players, yada, yada, yada. But in that time, I feel like I've learned a lot more about Danny Briere and what he did afterwards and the work he did and the amount of school he went back to. He went to the University of Penn to get, just build up his business resume and get the skills, and worked his way up through ECHL and stuff like that. But last year was a big year, and they landed two big moves. The number one was just moving on from Ivan Provorov to Columbus. They got first-round picks back, which are going to mean a lot. They were, able to get a player in that deal and trade him at the deadline for even more prospects and, future assets and stuff like that. And I feel like the second key move was just taking a risk that no one was going to take. Absolutely nobody. Matvei Michkov was probably 1A to Connor Bedard, which is an outrageous statement. But nobody wanted to touch him just based on the fact that the NHL and the KHL don't have a great relationship. And it's hard to even have, a really good working relationship, let alone just have a relationship. So the fact that Danny Briere did it over during the season with Ivan Fedotov, bring over a goalie who we all thought was never going to come over here, and then luring a big star in their first round pick last year, 7th overall, to come over only 1 year after being drafted is the move that's going to keep Danny Briere as GM for a long time, and Keith Jones. This is it's obviously going to jumpstart the Flyers in a lot of ways. I think it's going to take them some time to adjust and work in the AHL game. And obviously try to find the right pieces that are going to mold around him, but he is definitely a dynamo. He had the highest points rating. He was second overall, but he was really close to being number one because he missed a long stretch of the season.
Yeah.
But for the most points ever, +1 after your draft year, for him to be up there and just the way he's explosive, and it's going to hurt us sometimes. He's going to extend himself and maybe try to go for a risky play and give up a goal. But the reward that you're going to have with him being out there doing what he does is going to change the Flyers for a long time. I mean, they haven't had somebody, I don't think, in my time watching them that could get to the levels offensive production wise that we've ever seen. And we had a lot of really good players. I mean, the 2010 Flyers with all the pieces that they had, Richards, Carters, Simone Gagne. I mean, if you look at that team, it's crazy that they didn't win a cup, and they made it there obviously and fell short. But for the Flyers to get Matvei Michkov now, and especially with John Tortorella, probably maybe 1 or 2 years left, but just give him the right tools, enable him to flourish. And John Tortorella's done this before, being able to take very, very high-profile young players and just put the right tools with them and give them the right mindset. And I feel like for Michkov, this could be, I mean, just outrageous. Makes me excited because they've had really good players and really good young players, but nobody who can just do what he does. And we spent 7 games watching Connor McDavid enter the zone just with the puck, and it doesn't make sense how he gets through 2-3 guys and dips his way into the net. And Matvei Michkov does that. He has that just instinct. He has that knack. He can score from behind the net, the side of the net, in front of the net. Anywhere where he has the puck, there's a good chance he can score from it. And you just love that production. And it's really so much intangibles that they don't have that is going to for sure elevate the Flyers. I mean, I haven't been this excited about somebody that they've
I can feel it
so long. Yeah,
I can feel it, and it's making me excited. I mean, I didn't think he was going to come over as early as he did, and it's like right when the NHL season ends, basically, is when we get that news. So
I'm going to give myself a rookie card just in case.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, and it's crazy too because the season wrapped up, and like we talked about the WNBA, this like the March Madness ended and it was right the start of the draft and their season started, but the draft for the NHL and NBA are literally this week, and it's crazy because they both just wrapped up. So it's like it's good to get the turnaround going, especially because I feel like the Celtics won't have a lot of time to celebrate as champs. So I'm all for it that it's a quick turnaround like that.
But
yeah,
that's another topic. We can talk about it next week how the draft went and everything.
Yeah, but now with the Flyers getting this right before the timing of it, I think is really special because it's right before the draft, and they have so many assets where it's now it seems like they could be tentative and just play it out and be safe, and now it feels like they could really go for a kill move and just do something with these picks, or even if they just stay with them and make the picks, it's okay. But now that they have the weapons, they have the cap space. I mean, they can weaponize a lot of things to shake up the NHL. I mean, there's a lot of teams who failed to get far this offseason and have a lot of really, really nice players that they might want to move off from, just like the way the Florida Panthers did. I mean, they went and made the move for Makachuk, and it took 2 years, but they got him a cup. And I'm sure they would, and it worked out great for them. So a lot of teams still, I think, are going to try that blueprint if they can get the right deal working. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's exciting for you guys.
Super pumped. Yeah. And we'll definitely have to break down the drafts next week.
Yeah.
And depending on how they go.
All right. Well, let's
that was the most hockey talk we've ever done.
Definitely.
I know that was a long-winded hockey segment.
That was healthy. Hey, there's not like, I don't want to say there's not nothing going on right now, but it was definitely much deserved after that series and that season. Yeah. So I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
So
no, it was a good one. And as we were kind of talking about World Series and MVPs and Stanley Cup MVPs, I had a little trivia for you guys.
Okay.
Kind of a little difficult, so I don't necessarily expect you guys to get it. But there's only ever been 4 players for baseball to get the World Series MVP twice. Can you guys name any of the 4? One was very recent.
Oh, God.
The other 3 were not recent.
4 players to win the MVP twice.
One was very recent. I will give you as a
Okay.
hint.
So, Chase, I think we should work together. The recent one,
Yeah.
I feel like it's an Astro.
I know. I was gonna say Altuve or somebody like that.
I like
No.
that guess. I like that guess.
No. Okay.
The other 3 were not in the 2000s, but they're also not like 1910 guys.
No, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure there's some Yankees. I can guarantee at least 1 or 2 Yankees. I feel like
They're between like the 60s and like 80s, so they're not like super old. It's not like the pretzel gets in or something.
who the heck on the Astros?
Was it?
Who was the MVP on against the Phillies? I don't even remember because I just get pissed and I turn off the TV.
I know. Was it Alvarez that series?
It was the 4. None of the 4 are an Astro.
Oh.
None of them are an Astro
To win 2 World Series MVPs, no.
Okay. I have a guess. Madison Bumgarner.
No, good guess though.
Okay.
I think Bumgarner won it 1 year, Posey won it 1 year, and then
They mixed it up.
maybe even Lindsey. I don't know. I have to look. But
Oh, the Cardinals were also good right around then.
Yeah.
They won a couple in that chunk. Ben, this is hard.
all right, I'll give you the oldest one.
No, give us the teams. Can you give us
Okay.
the 4 teams in order? In oldest.
In order. Okay. Dodgers,
Okay.
Cardinals, A's. Okay, the last 2 are I think they won the World Series MVP on 2 different teams.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think they're the only 2 that have won it on 2 different teams.
You just named
Right.
3 teams and then.
Well, I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
The one, you want another hint? The one is
Oh my gosh! It's is it Mookie Betts?
No, the one was
Oh
just
my-
last year. Who was the World Series MVP last year?
Corey Seager.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, wait. Did he win it with the Dodgers too?
Yeah. Yep. 2020.
Oh.
Also.
Oh my gosh! I would never guess.
And the
Corey Seager.
Rangers.
I would never guess Corey Seager.
Dang, yeah, I totally forgot. Like I said, I only watched like a minute and a half
Yeah.
of the World Series.
Did anyone else comment? Does anyone else have any guesses?
I don't have
Anyone
Instagram
listening?
up, but the other, I'll say the other 3, so we don't. Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson,
Okay.
and then Reggie Jackson.
All right.
When we went, I think it was the last week or 2 weeks ago, we went on that. We looked at Reggie Jackson, those A's teams that we will have to do a deep dive in at some point. But those A's teams
Oh,
that went to
yeah.
like 6 straight World Series,
And then
or
just
something.
dump their whole team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, let's get into some MLB talk. Ryan, you want to start? I know you went to the Pirates game. You saw Mr. Skeens do his thing. I kind of said I thought he might get beat up a little bit by
Yeah.
the Rays. He kind of worked in and out of trouble.
He definitely got beat
but-
up, but not from an ERA standpoint.
No, he only gave up 1 run, but he limited runners across home plate, and that's what matters.
Yeah. First off, anyone out there who's a baseball fan, this was my first time at PNC Park. I'm pissed that this was my first time. By far, a beautiful ballpark. We actually sat in the outfield, so we didn't get the view that if you sit on like the third baseline of like, the bridge in the background with the water. But it was beautiful. This is my 5th ballpark total I've been to. Easily top 2. I think PNC Park and Camden Yards are my 2 favorite out of the 5 I've been to. But it was just awesome. And yeah, got to watch Paul Skeens pitching. And first off, the hype is real. Like Pittsburgh was pumped. I saw so many Skeens jerseys already. Like it's just crazy. And every time you got the 2 strikes, they're already like clapping, like hype. Even if it's like the 4th inning, no outs, 2 strikes. And the dude just showed great adversity. I mean, first batter of the game, Yandy Diaz hits a home run to lead off the game. And they go down 1-0. And he, like Ben said, he was in and out of trouble, but he didn't let anyone across home plate. Had a couple walks. Wasn't necessarily himself with the command, but got into trouble in the 6th inning. I think it was 6 2/3, couple guys on base, and they had a mound visit. And I'm like, I'm like sitting there. I'm like, okay, if he gives up anything else, he's out. And all game, this guy's throwing 98, 99. He's hit 100 a couple times. I'm like, starting pitchers besides the young guys don't usually hit that. After that mound visit, one pitch, 102 strikes him out, ends the inning, goes 7. And of course, he doesn't get the win. It's just like also the epitome. This is what you guys sat here and talked about when we talked about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Their pitching is incredible, and they lose these games. They lose 3-1. Like Skeen's pitch is a gem, a 7-inning gem. You don't get that all the time, especially from first overall pick of last year, already up in the majors, making a big thing. Like, come on. I was like, get him a win. But it was super cool to see him pitch. I got to see Andrew McCutchen come in, pinch hit, walk. But he was just a big fan favorite as well. But overall, yeah, it was a lot of fun. I will say I do have a problem with one thing. The Pirates only chant, "Let's go Bucks." That's it. And first off, their name isn't even long. Second off, the Bucks makes me think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing here? I refused to say it. I said one "Let's go Bucks" in the 9th when I wanted them to come back and win, and I was pissed about doing it. I just didn't understand it. Also,
Yeah.
why can't you just say Pirates? Like, I want to know. There are so many Pirate mascot team names across the board, college, professional. Do others Pirate teams do this? Isn't Seton Hall? They're the Pirates, right?
Yeah, Seton Hall, East Carolina.
I can't remember. Do they have a race or anything or no? I know when when I went to the Mariners game, like, you know how like we talk about those races and like the different things that they have at the games. The Mariners had a salmon run.
Oh, okay, yes. Pittsburgh did the pierogi race.
Oh, okay.
Different colored hats. But
also, another thing, did you count in your 5 stadiums? Did you count Miami?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a World Baseball.
Oh wait, yeah. This is kind of sad. So Miami's up there too because they have like, I think it's the World Bobblehead Museum in the park that we got to see when we were in the Marlins Stadium, which was cool because it was just bobbleheads out the wazoo. So yeah, saw World Baseball Classic came there. I did count Miami, and obviously then at this is Citizens Bank Park and then Veterans Stadium, but I don't remember Veterans Stadium, but I'm counting it because I was in there for at least a couple months. So
I will say too, I've been to because I just counted while you said that because I was curious. I've been to 15.
Damn.
Parks?
Yes.
No, you haven't.
Yes.
No, you have.
You're halfway there.
PNC Park, Camden Yards, Veterans Stadium, Citizens, Citi Field, Shea, First Yankee Stadium, Second Yankee Stadium, Fenway, Seattle, the Dodgers, the Angels, the A's, San Francisco, and then Miami.
What's your favorite?
Damn.
Do you have a favorite?
I think my favorite.
Don't say Shea. I'm gonna hit you if you say
I'm not
Shea.
going to say. I think it honestly was the Dodgers Stadium.
Oh,
The main reason. So it's so. But I will say PNC is like in all the stadiums I've been to is PNC's top 5, and I'm going to number 15 or 16 in a week and a half. Nationals. I've never been to the Nationals Park. I'm going.
Oh.
That's just a check.
The Dodgers though is weird because when you walk in, it's super weird when you walk into the stadium. You walk in on the top.
Okay.
The entrance, you come in and it's on the top, and then you have to go down.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know. It's kind of unique and different.
Is that because your dad worked in California?
Yeah.
For some time, so you got to hit Dodgers, San Francisco, and Oakland,
and the Angels. The only one we didn't get to was San Diego. When we were out there.
Wow, so you hit 4 just.
I went out there. We went out there 2 separate times when he was out there.
And you just hit them all of them.
Yeah, we saw a couple. So that's when I saw those parks. So it's definitely been a while, but
dang. And obviously there's 3 that aren't around anymore.
Yeah. I will say the first Yankee Stadium was pretty cool because we went there in the last year.
So you remember that? You remember that stadium pretty vividly?
Yeah, because my dad had company tickets and we were like, I have pictures. We were like 10 rows behind home plate. So that was like a super cool experience. That's cool. That was my grandpa and everything went. But PNC Park's up there. It's like, it's top 5.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
It's
okay.
a
That
nice
reinsurances me.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah. Well, we're talking, Chase. How many? 15.
Mm-hmm.
Chase.
15. I think I've only been to 3 and 2 current. So I've been to the Vet and CBP, and then I went to a Nationals game, and I hated every second of it.
So you haven't been to Camden Yards yet?
No, I haven't been to Camden Yards. Haven't been to PNC.
Yeah, we'll have to get to...
Camden's for sure one that all three of us can go to because it's close to us. PNC is kind of a stretch, but also you might have been to more baseball games than us. You've definitely gotten your fair share of Citizens Bank Park games.
Yeah, I've definitely been to Citizens Bank the most out of like all the stadiums there.
Do you remember the Vet at all?
I don't remember the whole game, but I remember being there and just remembering how big the stadium was, and we were in a suite. So I thought it was kind of cool that
I remember the Vet.
We were up there, yeah.
I remember that was... I liked the Vet just because I remember going... Well, that was like when I was really playing baseball, and I would always really want to go like early to go to batting, like try to get to catch batting practice ball and stuff. So
yeah, I know they played the Twins, so it was like 2001 Twins.
It's fun. I still have a lot of the tickets, and it's fun to just go back and kind of like see. Like I did that one time where I like went back and like, what happened that game? Like that I was there because I don't remember at all.
Yeah. Well, because when you're there, it's like. I was also when I was sitting there, I want to reiterate because I know baseball is not as popular as it used to be. In-person sports, like baseball is one of the top still to this day. Like it's the atmosphere is fun. Like there's really not many bad seats in the whole park. You have the flexibility to move around. Like football, like NFL, like it can be fun and the crowd can get into it, but I feel like everyone would much rather watch an NFL game on TV.
Oh yeah,
like
hands down.
Yeah, and it's just like when you're at the baseball game, it's cool. And depending on where you're sitting, like you can sit at a different spot every game, and you get to see different views. Whereas like in the NFL game, I sat right on the 50-yard line. I had no idea if any extra point ever went in. So I'm like,
do you guys have particular spots in baseball games you'd like to sit in? Like do you have, or do you just go and where?
No, I don't know if it's because I haven't been to enough, but I will say I've barely ever sit in the outfield, but that's because especially some minor league teams, they don't always have outfield seating. But like we did that in PNC and it wasn't bad, but
I always when we get tickets, and if I'm in charge of tickets, I always get tickets behind home plate. Like, no, I'm not like behind home plate, like top row behind, like top level behind.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
You like the pitcher throwing at you.
Yes,
that's
so like they're still not expensive tickets because I'm not gonna pay for like right behind home plate, but like upper level, like at least if it's like a little bit down the line, or I could like know what's happening. But I don't like not being able to see if a ball is like relatively close to the strike zone, or like, I don't know. The perspective is weird if I go too far a certain way.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like it's maybe just because the tickets are cheaper in those spots, but like either outfield corner or like you said, Ben, right behind home plate, like way up 400 level. I think it's section 420 at CBP, which is awesome. But
I will say, so PNC, obviously where I was sitting, I didn't get to see the water, like the bridge view. One flaw with the outfield is you don't get to see the big board. So like I'm sitting behind it. So like they're doing these things like find the thing in the crowd and everyone's watching the board. But nowadays I do have beef. I don't like sitting too close to the netting because looking through the netting sometimes messes with me. I know they have it super, slim so you can see through it. But I went to a Hagerstown Flying Block Stars game like 2 weeks ago, and we sat like a couple rows back, and I'm like struggling to read the big board through the net, and I was just like kind of getting pissed about it.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like that's why I like setting up, because you get like pretty unobstructive view all the time.
Yeah, well, in Fenway,
so you guys have the same. That's the sweet spot. Now I know.
Fenway Park. Yeah, like I forgot that one. I mean, I didn't forget it, but that's definitely up there, like top 3 for sure. But there's like spots in Fenway still that I think they've tried to eliminate a little bit, but because it's so old, they're like the seats are basically like right behind some of the posts. They're just like stuffed. You can't see you can't see anything. Like you basically have to like sit the game like that.
God, that was such an old timey thing. It was like, yes, I finally have enough money to go to the ball game, and then you get there and you're right behind the pole the entire time. It's like
literally, you're like almost straddling a pole.
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about the pesky pole. Like, I feel like when you see a home run, there's just someone right behind the pole.
There's
always, and they're just sticking their head out.
I don't know if it's Instagram or Twitter, but it's in one of those accounts. It's like worst seats at every MLB like stadium, and it just like finds the worst seat in every stadium, and it's kind of funny. It's just like random spots. Like there's one that's just like the total like right behind the foul pole, and you can't see a thing.
Like why did they spend the money to like put the chair in? Like it's so
nice for $20 for this seat.
Yeah,
it's like almost like that. Actually, that reminds me of is it the old Villanova Wildcat Stadium for basketball?
The Wachovia Center?
No, where the Villanova basketball team played. If you sat too high, you
can't see the other side of the court.
You can't see the other side of the court.
So buns, dude. It happened to me. I was there and we sat in there, and they did renovations to it. So, but like the way the seats are on the ends, it goes up and the ceilings like kind of curve down over each other. So like they would just run up, like I could see like 3/4 of the court, and then anything that was just going into the basket, I was like just waiting for noise or reaction or to see it on the board. I was like, this is an awful, like, how did this happen?
Yeah, there's a lot of seats in that. I mean, it doesn't hold a lot, but there's like it's not like one.
It's a good amount. Yeah. It is cheeks though.
That's funny. We can I mean, I didn't have much other MLB. I wanted to quickly touch on the sticky stuff situation, and that was kind of all I had. We had some good talk about stadiums there. I feel like we could talk about stadiums for a while because there's so many cool ones I haven't been to. I know, like on my list, like Wrigley.
I was gonna say like, Wrigley better be on
Wrigley
there.
is like one of the main ones that I've never been to. And I mean, for you guys, Fenway, like definitely.
Minute Maid Park was on my list until they got rid of the bowl. The little bowl in center field.
The Fenway game that I went to, it was super hot and uncomfortable, but it was a Sunday night Yankee game, Red Sox against Yankees, so it was so intense, but it was like crazy hot that it was really uncomfortable.
Dang. Yeah.
But
so you'd have to go in like May for it to be a good game, or like late September.
Yep. But so to really touch on the sticky stuff, I was
backstory.
So Edwin Diaz got ejected for having some supposedly banned substance on his hand, so he got suspended for 10 games. They've been really cracking down since 2022, I think.
Yeah, before and after you pitch, I think the umps check you now.
Yeah, so Diaz got caught before he pitched, and obviously it hurts the Mets for the next couple games because they desperately need help in the back end of their bullpen.
And they've been hot too.
They've been hot. That wild card is crazy right now, and they're right in it. Yeah. So they're.
But have they been hot because of Diaz using the sticky stuff?
No, Diaz has not pitched well enough. If he is using the sticky stuff, then he should be pitching much better than he was. But first of all, I want to say this: the rule is weird and it's kind of stupid because of the umpire's discretion, and it seems to be it doesn't seem even across the board as far as what the players are allowed to do. Like it seems like there's times where the players are allowed to rinse off their hands, or like they get ejected but they're allowed to rinse off their hands and they don't get suspended, or they're allowed to wash their hands and then it's fine. That's happened with the Yankees a couple times. My beef is this has happened 8 times since this kind of happened, and 3 of the times has been the Mets, as far as 8 times of like just getting thrown out. And like and to me, and what Diaz said is basically like rosin, sweat, and then there's one other, I forget the other substance that's illegal, but that's all he said he uses. That's all he said he's always used. I mean, you got freaking Joe Musgrove, who looks like he just came out of a 200-degree sauna in the playoff game, dripping with like baby oil on his face, and they're like, oh, he's fine, it's not a big deal, and they never checked him once. He's like, yeah, he's good. So I just had an issue that it feels like the Mets are just getting hosed right now by the MLB, and it just keeps being the Mets that the issue is, and the discretion is just it's an open-ended rule that umpires discretion.
So certain things you're allowed to have on your hand. Like, do you think Diaz had illegal substances on his hand?
So rosin's legal. The other, I can tell you what. There's another substance that's legal.
Is this just all for ball grip? But that's it.
Rosin's just the white bag that you'll see like behind the
sweat, which makes sense because that comes off of you.
Yeah. There's one other substance that's legal that I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, his hand looks sketch. I'm like, if I'm him leaving the bullpen going to an ump, it just looked sus. Like, to me, I'm just like, dude, this like looks like you're going to cheat on a math test and you have the answers written on your arm and you're wearing a short sleeve shirt. Like, that's how it felt to me.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a tough one.
It is. I will say it is intense at 3 of the 8, but also, Ben, that kind of rubs me the wrong way. Are the Mets just bigger cheaters? Like, are they cheating more than everyone else? And that's why
last year was Max Scherzer.
Yeah, I actually saw somebody from the University of Georgia they thought was cheating. I don't know if you guys saw that.
No.
A couple weeks ago, this pitcher, and everyone kept like calling him out because he would like do the same thing. He would touch his glove in a weird spot every time. And people started like compiling the videos together, and like his kid's literally cheating. He's using something on his glove.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's just frustrating. I feel like that's like the one flaw of baseball being as slow as it is like cheating happens in every sport, but in baseball you have the time to be able to cheat. And then on the other side, people have the time to catch you cheating. So it's like good and bad. But I don't know. Just if you're a pitcher and you're good, just believe that you can make this stuff.
I mean, it almost just felt like to me that there's like
I will say the ump did have all the umps come in. They talked about it amongst the crew. It wasn't. I don't think that was irrational. Now the 10-game suspension. If you said other players don't get that's a separate thing.
I mean, I just like look at the Yankees who. There's been multiple times where they've just told them to wash it off, and then there's just not the same.
So what, they get ejected from the game, but no suspension?
Just not the same rule. Yeah, they don't get suspended, and so I don't know. I don't actually know.
Was that they see it suspended all the time?
What was that?
Who was that Yankees guy you see it? Ivan Nova? Was he the one that always gets suspended?
Yeah, he had it on his neck. He had like this giant like hiccup neck. It was just.
But he's
like, oh, I didn't realize that got on my neck.
Yeah. I don't know actually, I can't sit here and know that Diaz only had rosin and sweat on his hand.
It looks sketch. His hand looks sketch.
It looked white and sweaty, and that's what rosin is. Rosin's white and it's sweat. That's what it looked like to me.
I don't know. If I'm a ball player, I'm just playing it as safe as can be.
But rosin's always been legal. The rosin is. I used rosin when I played baseball.
Okay, then why did he get suspended 10 games?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know.
They don't know what was on his hand.
No one's come out with what actually was on his hand. The umpire said that it definitely was not just rosin and sweat, but what was? I mean, like what would he use that's help? Rosin is helpful. I mean, I doubt he's using pine tar on that. I mean, pine tar is almost too sticky to be using that as a pitcher. You're gonna spike the ball. Like what? I don't know. That's a genuine. Like what other substance is beneficial when someone's ejected?
Guys, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and when he's pitching, like these guys are pitching all the time. They're not. Like, is this just one game he decided he's using some random stuff and just see what happens, see if he gets caught?
Maybe he see if he can get away with it, or maybe he has been getting away with it.
I mean, he's been pitching really shitty if he's been trying to get away with it this whole year.
Yeah.
7 saves and like 3 blown saves, so.
Yeah. I thought I read that some pitchers were saying like they would use some sunscreen and just dab that on their skin and then get that a little tacky, or like hair pomade because that gets real sticky.
And the sunscreen, it's like a fine line because I'm sure players use sunscreen.
But yeah, like I'm sure the first guy to realize it didn't
Right.
didn't know, like unknowingly was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God, look at this.
Just classic against the Mets, but that's just me being a
It's kind of like
pissed off Mets fan.
it's like the NFL catch rule. It's like it seems like the MLB needs to have these clear and concise across the board rules.
It's
for
hard
this
when
type
it's the
of
umpire
situation.
discretion, and then it becomes, it just makes that hard.
I will say there was a while I didn't realize they checked them before they pitched. I only thought they would check them after, and I would be like, what's the point of this? They just got through the inning, and now you're going to be like, oh, this is sketchy. So, but yeah, I saw that. I just thought.
Yeah. Before we go to Chase's Christopher Bell, just look at fucking Joe Musgrove's ears and tell me that these ears are not.
Hey everyone,
No, this was in the playoffs.
I know it seemed like he had like tiger balm or something on his ears.
Yeah. So I don't know if they're gonna. Yeah. So then they all went out and they were in his ears. This is a 2022. This is a 2022 wild card.
They're just feeling his ears.
Yeah. But I don't know.
They look soaked.
I don't know if I can show a picture. But they look at his ears were like, I don't know, they were, and then he was.
Did they let him pitch?
Yeah, they kept him in the game, and he pitched great, and then he was all cocky about it after. And now he's like a top 5 hated player for me because he's just a prick.
Yeah. And also, wasn't he just a part of the Astros team that got caught for banging on a bunch of trash cans too?
I think he was a part of that team also. Was he a rookie then? Maybe, I don't know. Like if he was,
yeah, because I feel like he got traded like after at least that first run.
Yeah, he was. I think he was a 2016, 2017.
That was their team.
That was their team. Yeah, was he on the World Series team? I guess is the other question. Yeah, he was. It's on that World Series team.
Classic. So everyone on that team should have an asterisk next to their name because you know that they were up to something.
And he pitched 7 scoreless innings of 1-hit ball against the Mets that game.
Classic.
Anyway, let's talk. Let's talk some NASCAR. Christopher Bell. He won.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna work on bringing this up so we can see.
Chase.
So we can see kind of how that's going. But
let's go. Win number 3 for the sleeper pick, Christopher Bell.
I know he is getting hotter than ever right now, and it's a good time to start picking up the heat. We're just past the halfway point of the NASCAR season, but this race on Sunday looked like it was going to end early. There was a lot of terrible rain in the forecast, and he was hanging up there, top 5, I think, at that point when they shut the race down. And, there was a good shot that they were just going to call the race completely. They instead decided to put on the wet tires and give it a spin after they tried it for, I guess, like hour and a half. But from that point on, Christopher Bell with the wet tires just absolutely dominated. It looked like he had no problem with it. A lot of guys were really tentative, didn't want to put the car to the limit, but he was just on fire. Not only that, he won the Xfinity race the night before, so he had a clean sweep on the weekend entirely.
Ridiculous.
He just cleaned house. And I think the race, I know I've brought this up a few times. I feel like the Xfinity race for a lot of these guys has helped the eventual winner of a lot of the races. Like if a guy finished top 5 or even won the Xfinity race, it seemed like they won again on Sunday. So for Christopher Bell, and he won stage 1 too. So points wise, he was raking on Sunday. He was really putting in the work, and obviously trying to close the door on Kyle Larson for the playoff standings, who also had a top 5 finish. So for himself, and also Stewart-Haas Racing, to bring them up, 2 of their 3 guys finished in the top 5. So as a team that's really going to fold up, their guys have really been showing out, and it seems like they're both. At least 2 of them are going to get picked up for next year, which is good to see that they're not just going to be totally out of racing by themselves. But, anyway, so Christopher Bell in the playoff hunt is closing it in. And
is this the right page? Oh, playoff picture.
Yeah, playoff picture.
Oh, number 3.
Yeah, number 3. And as you can see there, all 4 guys right there have 3 wins. So it's either feast or famine right there at the top. I mean, you gotta have multiple
names too. Like Larson and Hamlin have been easily like 2 of the top racers in the last
Chase Elliott,
5 years, and William Byron's been great too.
Yeah, William Byron has the most wins in the next gen cars. So he's been. Yeah, Bubba Wallace. Let me bring this up real quick. Had a decent race. All he had to do was finish, and he would have been in the playoff race. Crashed. Inadvertently. It was not his fault, but classically, he was in the line of fire, knocked him out of the race, and put him out of the playoff picture. So,
was it Kyle Busch's fault?
No, Kyle Busch is having his own issues, and his own car is just falling apart on himself. So he was not being helped out. Alex Bowman's engine died out. Joey Logano was a victim of an accident he got logged up in. So otherwise, he was having a really strong day. And Ryan Blaney too. He was running second. Had the race not stopped when it did, he probably would have won the race. I mean, he had a dominant car, and then once they put the wet tires on, he just couldn't get it going. So you could see which guys were really comfortable with the wet tires and which ones weren't. And obviously, those guys finished up near the top.
Yeah.
So,
dang.
Yeah, Christopher Bell putting in the work. If you're looking for a straight money line bet for a win, you can go Christopher Bell. It seems like he's pretty much locked in.
Ridiculous. I wonder what his current odds are.
What were his odds?
Plus 1,000.
Okay.
I think Chase, when you picked him in the beginning of the year.
Does it win the playoffs? Is that what the bet is?
Yeah, to win. To finish 1 outright.
So he just finished 1 here, or to win the playoffs?
No, like win the whole championship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do we got on next on top, Chase?
So next weekend is.
Look at that schedule.
No idea.
Race. Oh, there's. Oh wait. That already happened.
Yeah, can you go down?
Here we go, Ben.
Wait, hit the.
I'm on the NASCAR page, and they haven't updated their shit. It's on NASCAR.
Wait, just go down and hit the June on the schedule.
You really gotta start fighting.
All right. Oh yeah, Nashville. That's right. Nashville, Tennessee. So another big raceway.
Okay. Oh, and then
the street race, and then Pocono.
Oh my Spartan race is July 13th in the Poconos. Is there anything going on July? They did not time that well, by the way. The sprint Spartan race is July 14th in the Poconos.
Oh my god. Yeah, all weekend it's going to be the Truck Series and Xfinity, and then NASCAR on Sunday, the Cup Series on Sunday.
Well, I'm going to be up there July 13th for the race, so that's kind of
You're going to be up there for the Xfinity race, yeah.
Oh. Maybe if I
so that won't be super busy up there for no reason.
Why did they plan it that way? I mean, not that the Spartan race. Obviously, the NASCAR has more people than like the Spartan race, but still.
Okay, right now odds to the championship. He's right now third best odds at plus 500, and only Hamlin and Larson are plus 400 ahead of him.
Dang.
Oh my god!
But it's the 4 guys with 3 wins, and then it's a clear drop off after this for Byron too. And Ben's now looking for Bubba Wallace
plus 5,000.
All right. So if you're looking lonely, you could drop a unit on a plus 5,000 Bubba Wallace.
I wouldn't. No.
Oh, yeah.
You never know. He could come out next week, get a win, and then put himself right back in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
And then you had a plus 5,000 ticket. Look at you. You're in a good spot.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting, though, Chase. That's exciting. And Chris Bell is doing this and doing work.
This is insane. Yeah. Chase, you knew. You haven't even been following NASCAR that intensely until this year, and the sleeper pick out of the century.
Yeah. I mean, he did qualify for the playoffs last year. He made the finals, but, it doesn't always necessarily translate to next year. I mean, there's a lot that can happen, and definitely racing luck is an invariable. They sometimes
that's all sports.
I mean, for as much as Bubba Wallace has had a dumpy season, there were so many times where he just got wrapped up in a wreck that he had nothing to do with and was just wrong place, wrong time. So all those times that Christopher Bell found himself in a position to get the win, and for everyone else, that was a second place finish or not getting a win at all. So
Yeah.
Definitely heating up though, getting some good action, and we'll get some good local action when it goes to Pocono.
It's
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous. Yes, 3 wins.
Sounds
still.
good.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the updates, Chase, and keeping our
of
fans
course.
updated on NASCAR too.
Yeah.
So
AFR fam appreciates it, and I know I do too. But
all right, ready for some AFR after hours? I guess we should say bye to Spotify.
Yeah. So everyone, episode 70. It came and went quick. That was I didn't think we would have a lot to talk about tonight. Great solid hour of good sports talk. A lot of fun sports talk too. Shout out Florida Panthers. Shout out Christopher Bell. Shout out to our AFR fam. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. However you listen to your podcast out there, we appreciate you, and we'll see you next week for episode 71. Peace.
Yeah. Do we want to stay live for this?
Oh, for sure. Get it.
Let's
get it. Let's see. Is anyone?
I was just looking at Irvin Santana for a second because I forgot about him.
If you want to wrap it up, you can. It's up to you.
We can do baseball and see how we're feeling.
Do you have the comment section up on StreamYard? Do you want to pop back real quick?
No one's saying anything.
Is no one saying anything?
Not yet.
Just in case. Okay. Because I have Instagram up.
Here we go.
No one says anything.
LA and the Angels, poop holes.
Yeah, that's a.
Poop holes.
I think. What about? Why does this ad keep popping in here?
Oh, that's a rough one. Gotta wait the 3 seconds because you have a kid.
Okay, I'm gonna say Ralphie for call. Oh my gosh, those ads won't stop. What is going on here?
Whoa,
I like that.
Good hit.
Angel 2000 Ks.
Jared Weaver, does he have 2,000 Ks?
I like it, but I don't know if he has 2,000 Ks.
No,
He's going to at least have a 10-win season. Although, I guess, wait.
What about Tyler Skaggs?
Oh, there it is. You always bring up Tyler Skaggs.
Wasn't he a pitcher for a minute on that?
I don't know if he had 10 wins.
Yeah.
He definitely didn't have 2,000 career Ks.
Oh, was he the okay.
Still alive.
Wait,
Braves? No, we are still alive. Oh my gosh. Jesus. All right, we can pick between Glavine, Smoltz. Who do we want here?
Or Maddox.
Yeah, all three of those work for all this. Let's go Smoltz for a 10-win year. Let's go.
We should have picked like a reliever for the 10 wins.
Maddox or Glavine? Who do we want?
I like Maddox. I think he's better.
I agree.
Schmaltz is like gone down on my radar because he's always doing the World Series and he's always just talking about the pitching of everything and never the batting.
A 10-win season for Detroit. What about Doug Fister?
That's
my gosh. Name. I used to have him in my fantasy squad back in the day. Doug Fister.
We could just go with Irvin Santana. Didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Did you say Jared Weaver?
Oh, yeah, I did say Jared Weaver.
I like Santana better.
Oh, good hit.
Weaver might have had 2,000. Well, didn't Zach Greinke? Wasn't he on the Angels or no? No, he wasn't.
Oh, wait, was he?
Oh, fuck, I don't know. Jared Weaver, I just don't know. I don't know if he was a K guy.
I don't know either.
Tigers, we could just go the easy, like Verlander or Scherzer.
That's true.
Yeah.
Verlander. I can't believe the Mets had them both and they didn't like win more than they did.
They had 103-4 win season.
And then what happened when they got to the playoffs, Ben?
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying for a regular season to have 104 wins, it's not like a
No, it was a good year. It's a good year.
I mean, I agree. They definitely should have done more in the postseason. But when Max Scherzer starts the game and gives up 7 runs in 3 innings, what the fuck are you supposed to do?
You were so hyped for that wild card game.
That's literally the game that my dad was here too. We were watching together down here, so hype, and then it's just a blowhole.
Were they the 2-hole and that was the first year they got rid of the bye then? For that? Is that why they had to play?
No, they didn't win the division because the Braves won 104.
They
won 103.
That's classic.
You can put Scherzer for LA Detroit.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Way to not use Scherzer.
Yeah. Let's go Max.
Oh, my gosh.
Do we
2,000 career Ks for the Angels. Did Johnny Cueto ever pitch for the Angels?
He might have.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think I'm thinking of somebody else.
Let's try Jared Weaver. It might work.
What about K-Rod? Did he ever?
Weaver only had 11 years in the league. That's
a little sketch.
That's a little sus.
Do you think any relievers have 2,000 Ks?
I don't know if any relievers have 2,000 Ks besides Smoltz, because he wasn't.
Dang, yeah.
There's got to be an older guy than the. Oh, Nolan Ryan.
Oh, that would have been a really big mess. Woo! Immaculate. Oh, Shohei. Oh, there is Weaver. Oh, Glavin.
Who are the 13? I'm just curious who. Randy Johnson played for the Angels?
I did not know him or Roger.
Oh no, this is just strike.
Oh,
this is just strikeout.
Oh.
Okay.
We'll go back. Yeah. All right, well, we're hot right now.
How do I get rid of these ads? This is pissing me off.
Oh no, it's starting to piss me off now.
it just won't stop.
Freaking
literally
shout out the Baseball Reference.
I'm about to go back in.
That's a Baseball Reference. Freaking awful.
It's just stuck on the stats. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
It's fine, Ben. Ben, you skipped men's basketball.
Sorry, I meant to go back.
Oh, this is easy.
Oof, the Wizards and the Hornets, what are they doing to us?
This is easy. Porzingis, top left right there. KCP, Kentavious, Kent. And Wizards, Kings.
Ish Smith. I don't know if he actually played for the Kings.
Oh, he played for the Wizards.
Didn't he play for
Didn't one of the Grants play for Wizards and the Kings?
Oh, yeah. Was it Grant Hill? Right? No.
Oh, I was thinking of like one of the Grant brothers, like Jeremy Grant or
Jerry
Grant.
Oh.
What about Greg Grant? Do we know?
I know nothing about Greg Grant. No, get out of there. We'll come back.
Or maybe one of the Holidays I'm thinking of.
No.
The Wizards.
Ish Smith for the Nuggets and Hornets. On the Nuggets? Or Will Barton? No, Will Barton wasn't on.
Who are some notable Hornets? Kemba's been
Hornets, Mavs. Wasn't PJ Washington a trade from?
Oh, yeah, Washington. I think Kemba actually might have worked on the Mavs. I think he did play on the Mavs too.
Oh, true.
Mavs 20. I mean, go like Dirk.
Yeah, I like it.
I thought he was gonna be lower.
Nuggets 20. I think Carmelo was averaging 20 when he was a young buck.
Then he's like top 10 all time scoring.
20 for the Kings. Ugh.
Chris Webber.
He wasn't ever on the Hornets, right?
Oh.
No.
What a chunk.
Hornets, Kings. God, that is
it's tough.
Outside of the
is Max Biombo? Was he on?
Yeah, honestly.
You know who time on the Hornets was? Gerald Henderson.
Al Jefferson.
Frank Kaminsky.
I love the names. They're just bopping out.
Gerald Henderson, I feel like
Gerald Henderson's a nice one. Gerald Wallace.
Oh, Gerald Henderson.
Yeah, but Gerald Wallace was a guy on there too.
Really?
I'm thinking
I've had a lot of players.
Wait, did this counts as the Bobcats or no?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to.
Like Adam Morrison and Hashim Thabit.
I can't think of anyone recently switching.
Unless anyone has a. Who are the Hornets team?
I'm going Ish Smith. No, I'm not. That's a risky move.
I like Gerald Henderson for bottom middle.
Okay, I like it. Then I'll go Ish Smith if it's wrong.
Whoa, Ben! Oh. The second.
Oh my god, that was close.
Okay.
I'll go.
Why do we always get? Oh my gosh! I ruined the grid. Oh gosh!
All right, Wizards.
I guess we should look at anyone commenting.
Oh, like Andre Kirilenko.
Oh, that could be a move. Any ideas, Chase?
Where did Jason Williams go
after
the Kings?
I don't know. Where does anyone go after they leave the Kings?
Go Grant Hill. I'll throw another guess in there.
Peja Stojovic.
Chris
Oh my
Webber.
Oh, Malik.
Damn it.
Oh, Malik Monk's kind of a brick.
That's a brick. That's
Yeah.
definitely a brick.
All right.
Dang it.
Oh.
Oh, middle right, Deladon.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm so sorry.
Deladon.
Oh.
Can't wait till she's back in the league next year.
Oh, this is a tough one. I don't know.
Brittany Stewart. Brianna Stewart.
Yes, that's right. I'll go to Rossi.
She played for 20 years.
she's still
Did she not have a
trucking.
kid?
She's still trucking.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, isn't she the all-time leader in points?
Is the
Let me
all-time
look this
leader
up.
by far. Yeah.
And she's still going?
Yeah.
Because we were looking at LeBron compared to who's the WNBA's leading scorer.
Yeah. Yep. Oof. I don't have a lot for this one. This is gonna
By
be
the way,
tough.
in like all the major sports,
maybe like Katie.
the WNBA has never had a team
Oh, I don't know.
with a player
Let's go.
that won MVP on the losing finals team.
Oh, okay.
But also they've been since the modern day, which is when
You know they want to give it to Caitlin Clark somehow. So
oh my gosh.
Oh, yep. That.
All right, we're about that time to give up if you even can with the ads.
Oh, Natasha Howard.
Oh, Natasha Howard.
All right, that's about all I have.
What's this girl's name? Bottom middle.
Teresa Witherspoon? She's
Oh,
a Hall of
Teresa
Famer.
Witherspoon. I know. I forgot
She's
about
part
her.
of an allocation draft. The Charlotte Sting and the Cleveland Rockers. Look at all these teams.
Dang.
The Houston Comets. None of these teams. The Sacramento Monarchs and the Utah. None of these teams are even still there.
Way to go, WNBA.
Oh wait, Chase doesn't see this. Sorry.
Mm.
The Charlotte Stings, Cleveland Rockers, Houston. None of these teams are even there anymore.
Oh yeah. The Monarchs.
6 in this draft.
This is the inaugural draft.
All right. What's going on?
Sorry.
What is going on? Sorry, I didn't mean to get that aggressive
No, I
about
got
it.
really aggressive.
I was
I'm just
waiting.
getting salty.
Okay. Easy money.
All right, Arian Foster.
I like it.
Oh wait, hold on. I'm still stuck on the other screen.
Oh my gosh, Ben.
Sorry.
All right, here we go.
All right. Tiki
I did
Barber.
not think Arian Foster was going to be 80%.
Tiki Barber, bottom right. That was a terrible one.
For
Who was the Patriots running back that got hurt at like the 2001 All-Star game on the beach and was never the same again?
Oh, I don't think he ever got 1,000 though, but I know what you're talking about.
Yes, he did. He was so good.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't wait to prove you wrong as soon as this is over.
I was gonna say like James White.
Oh yeah, that's probably safe. Oh,
How did James White never have 1,000 yards rushing in his dumb career?
Might as well go Rex Burkhead while we're at
oh,
it.
Ben, no, that is definitely a no.
Okay.
That
I was
is
gonna say Danny Woodhead. He probably got 1,000 one
I like
time.
Ben.
Oh. No.
Oh,
Well, two running backs.
Who's the
official
Patriots guy that you're
Zeke
thinking
had
of?
1,000 this last year.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
We should go to a
It's just
different
always
space.
by category.
All right, here.
This whole grid's just ruined because of that category.
Brock Osweiler.
Oh yeah, you know it.
When did these percentage? When did he get that mole on his face? I think he didn't always have that.
Oh, such a bad. Because they always just do by committee. Oh gosh.
Probably like Corey Dillon, maybe. Was he on the? Didn't he have a stint on the Patriots?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Chargers, Texans. I think that's
Oops. Sorry.
God damn it. It's oh man. I can literally see his picture in my head.
Did Rondé Barber play for the Giants and the Broncos? Am I way off there?
I don't know. Could have played for
I
both.
don't know.
You want to think, Chase, and we'll guess this one?
Okay.
Yeah.
What we guess?
Oh, we got one
We
left.
have one guess left.
All right.
One to get better than the WNBA one.
God, I can't think of his name. It's Desmond King. Desmond King.
Oh, for the
Yeah, right there.
nice hit,
That was a great
Chase.
hit.
There we go.
After we ruin that.
Tyrod Taylor. All right, do we need to look at this Patriots 14 apparently?
Can it show? Oh, it's not it.
This is it. This is it.
Oh, Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis.
Oh, the law firm.
Where's your guy, Ryan?
It would have been. It could be this guy.
Robert Edwards. It might.
No.
I think it is Robert Edwards.
Is it Robert Edwards?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. His only season, and then.
And he had 1,000 yards.
Yeah, I think it's him.
They never did that again.
Yeah. Yeah. Robert Edwards. Yeah, that would have been right if we just knew the name.
Dang.
All right. Well, we inaugurate the Oilers.
Oh, I like that they put them on there after this.
Didn't put the Panthers though.
Oh.
All right.
Oh,
500 career goals. Penguins, Crosby.
Doesn't Matthews have 500 yet?
Oh,
No.
I don't know. He is probably really close though.
I don't know anyone else on the Leafs besides that.
The Leafs, they've had a lot of old guys cycle through there too. Like
Gretzky's probably somewhere in here because he's on the Oilers.
500 goals for the Leafs.
See the
And the Canadians. Wait, for the Canadians, try Pavel Datsyuk, I think. Oh, wait, no, he didn't play with the Canadians. What the fuck? He played with Detroit.
What are you going with it?
I know. I can't think of who I was thinking of for either.
I'll try Austin Matthews, and then if it doesn't work, then it's okay.
It's TON, yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
By the way, I'm starting to get pissed at these Carolina teams too. Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah.
I missed when they were the Hartford Whalers.
Carolina Panthers. There's 2 Carolinas.
Oh, sorry.
You went for European nationality.
Oh, look, they have. Wait,
What'd you click?
what is this?
I mean, it's just showing you at the bottom, like the other ones that we have been doing, like baseball, football.
They have world football and English football. Interesting. Any more for the hockey, or should I just give up?
Yeah, can't think of any.
All right, let's give up, and then we'll call it.
Yep.
Just adds out the chunkers. Oh, Guy LaFleur, I've heard of him.
Matt Sundin, Frederick Anderson.
This guy looks like he's in high school.
No, he looks like he's younger than that.
Who is this dude? How old
Just
is
Barry Kotakini. I think he's like 21 or something right now.
he? Oh, 23. He's been in the league for 6 years already. He's 23.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. No wonder they play like 20 years in the
Yami Yager is just.
All right, everyone. Well, we appreciate if you still watching, still with us. We appreciate you listening, appreciate you watching. And we will be back next week with kind of keep grinding these out, and hope everyone's having a great summer. So we will see you almost July 4th, July 2nd-ish.
Yeah.
So
long.
all right. See you, everyone.
Ben Ryan Chase out.